Welcome to the garage, ladies and gentlemen. The Court of Public Opinion is in session for this Tuesday posting on Facebook and the podcasts that Andy Martin will put out later. Thank you for being with us. $27.6 billion. Sounds like an awful lot of money. That is how much we spent online shopping in just the last quarter. That's amazing. I mean, do you buy lots of stuff online? I don't.
Oh, occasionally.
I buy everything online.
Thank you, Tony. Tony's here. Pete's here. Gary's here.
Special guest.
We're all here. Gold and silver down considerably, and many people hard hit by that crash. It's a funny thing, you know. Shares and economies seem to crash in October. Nobody knows why. The big one was the 29th. It was 1929, but the anniversary of that 29 crash, Black Thursday, I think they called it, the anniversary of which was last Friday. I don't know what rhyme or reason there is behind any of that. Now, the Prime Minister comes back from his successful trumping of the colours. I like that. Trumping of the colours, walking down the stairs of his plane wearing a Joy Division T-shirt. I don't know how many people noticed that, but I found it very odd. I know that Joy Division was briefly a 1970s punk rock band. It didn't last long. Suffices to say, not my cup of tea. But it's the name that troubles me. And I think it would trouble the Jewish community in particular, which has been troubled enough, quite frankly, lately. Our Prime Minister Anthony Albanese wears a T-shirt emblazoned with the words Joy Division. Now, a bit of background. The name was taken from a 1955 novel called House of Dolls. I think they even made a movie out of it. Now, in that book, and I think movie, they describe the Joy Division as the sexual slavery wing of Nazi concentration camps. I say to myself, why would a pop group, even a pop rock group, pick a name like that? More importantly, why would a Prime Minister, particularly at this controversial time when anti-Semitism is such an issue, why would he choose to publicly wear the words Joy Division emblazoned big letters on his T-shirt? Perhaps a pop group could be excused for being naive, maybe even trying to shock people. But the Prime Minister of Australia, knowing that the cameras would be rolling and on him and all of that would be on the 6 o'clock news, very strange. If I knew this very unsavoury history, backstory, Anthony Albanese didn't or doesn't, surely somebody on his staff could have told him. Or did he do it purposely? As I say, very strange. Also strange is that it seems that here, the Court of Public Opinion seems to be the only media to have brought up this subject, that meaning the connection between the group and the Nazi concentration camps. Your comments on Friday morning. Love to hear. 0491 65 68 60. Call us. Claire Matthew Brown. You've probably never heard of Claire Matthew Brown. Well, she's a councillor in London who was being interviewed. She is a Reform UK local government candidate. It was an interview about the immigration issue, which is pretty hot in England. the councillor, Claire, said, words to this effect, as someone born and bred in England, and then pulled herself up immediately, chastening herself for saying, born and bred in England. And she did it herself, not the journalist, she did it. Now this is woke gone mad. Born and bred will offend immigrants? Really? How stupid. One of the most used familiar sayings in the language cannot be used on the BBC? Woke? I suggest they should woke up. We have to stop this nonsense. We have to stop it. Now, we won't run the whole thing, but I have a grab of exactly what took place, because I think you might have trouble believing what I just said. Take a look.
I want answers about the local white boy who's done this that you are unaware of.
Because it's not known. If I don't know about it, how am I supposed to have an opinion on it or be able to ask questions? I don't have an answer to that. I'm trying my hardest to bring community cohesion. I've been overwhelmed with the contacts I've had from people within Falkirk. And, you know, there is a true unrest, and it's scary. It's scary as a local resident, somebody who's born and bred here. I shouldn't have said that.
Well,
Yeah.
do you see why this is people
Yeah.
sometimes think that
Yeah.
Reform are very much
Yeah.
against having people
That just
here?
came out. It just came out.
That's unfortunate for you, I guess, but
Yeah.
ultimately, do you see why people who aren't from here, who have maybe made their home here, are annoyed when they hear an elected official say that people are born and bred here?
What do you make of that? Born and bred. Who the hell would take offence at that? And she is the Nigel Farage candidate, and he's a very outspoken. I can't see him apologising for saying born and bred. Adelaide is the fastest, speaking of immigration, the fastest growing Australian city. I don't know, if you're an Adelaidean, are you happy with that? What is the ideal size for a city? I don't think, Pete, you're happy with that, are you?
I'm not.
No. It's a contentious thing, population. What is the ideal size for a city? I think we're about the right size, but that's just me. 0491 65 68 60 if you would like to talk to me about local immigration and the effects that it might have on your life, your lifestyle, the cost of living, housing. Talk to us on Friday. Halloween soon, and the race is on to decorate, if that's the word, decorate houses accordingly. Now, I admit I don't get Halloween, but there is another thing to consider. The spray can white spider webs, cobwebs, which I suppose that's meant to look spooky. They are a terrible hazard and problem for the birds. They don't know that this sticky stuff, once they get it on themselves, they can't get it off. They can't fly, they can't survive. But, you know, do people think about these collateral things? I think we should think about that. The Australian Surf Life Saving Coast Watch report came out a couple of days ago. It's a report that looks at the last 12 months. And it shows that in 12 months, we managed to lose 154 people drowned on mostly beaches, but dams and estuaries and rivers and domestic swimming pools are a problem. But some of the other bits and pieces to come out of it I found interesting. More than half the fatalities, considerably more, were people over 50, who bloody well should know better. something else. Most of them were men. Doesn't sort of say what part alcohol played in it. But what else is interesting is that not one drowning occurred between the flags. And I think the Surf Life Saving Society can be justly very proud of that. If you've just joined us or found us, and you're wondering what this podcast is all about, well, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know that it's necessary to explain it, but it's comment, it's concern, it's very independent, fiercely independent. We're a bit curious, sometimes outraged. Why? Well, the reason is you just don't get this sort of stuff in ordinary media. Why? I don't know. The front people are afraid, not across their subject. Then there's the management, perhaps. Political correctness, which we were talking about before, born and bred stuff. Well, we, right here, can make a difference. And collectively, we can really make a difference with your help. If you think we have something to offer, spread the word, tell your friends. And what does Gary say? You press the subscribe.
Press the subscribe, and we could mention the viewing audience, the numbers of people.
85,000, which is a very
impressive.
Very good-sized audience, and we thank you, one and all, each and every one of you. You might remember some 6 weeks ago we were talking about the very well-meaning mass distribution of defibrillators. You see them everywhere. I was down at Scammell's the other day, and they've got several in there. Maybe they're sort of saying...
There's something about the demographics.
Yeah, the demographics. We're likely to get excited in our bidding in Carcat.
Beaumont House as well.
Yeah, well, you've got up at Beaumont House?
There's one up at Beaumont House.
Yep. You see them everywhere.
Maybe we should have one in the garage, Jeremy.
No. We take our chances down here. I was asking back then when we were talking about it, how many of us would, in a moment of panic, stress, crisis, know how to use a defibrillator? Well, I Pete would, Tony would, Gary would.
Get the beer from that.
No, I wouldn't.
Anyway, could a well-meaning person do more harm than good? I don't know. And what sort of liabilities could be incurred? Now, these were the questions that I was asking back when we brought it up many weeks ago. Now it's official. Most people, when questioned about the wisdom of this mass rollout, say they would be next to useless. We're talking 65% of people questioned. Next to useless. Useful only if you were lucky enough to have your crisis with a defibrillator nearby and with somebody with the confidence and knowledge to use it. Does it really make any sense? I mean, we're talking about waste here, just pure and simple, not waste of life, but waste of money. Waste or possible waste of hundreds of millions of dollars. You might remember Kerry Packer had a heart attack, and he was, a polo game, I think it was. And it was just the luck that the ambulance that was called happened to have, it was one of the few ambulances that happened to have a defibrillator on board. He was so impressed with the fact that that piece of good luck saved his life that he put his hand in his own pocket, which he did quite often, by the way, and he spent $20 million to equip every ambulance in New South Wales with a defibrillator. And he did it without any publicity. And he is a man who had plenty of opportunity to get publicity, but he wasn't that sort of guy. I want to talk to you at length on Thursday, the Thursday posting about the Four Corners expose last night. This is the expose of the paedophile network that is preying on children and babies in childcare centres. This evil has got to be dealt with, and dealt with quickly. No more inquiries. What we saw on that show last night reveals just the tip of this horrible iceberg. We've got to fix that and fix it now. And we'll talk at length on Thursday. We're here with the best wishes of the Rising Sun, who just this last weekend, the Rising Sun, 60 Bridge Street at Kensington, celebrated their... It wasn't exactly on the same day. It's a bit hard to find the exact day the Rising Sun, back in 1845, commenced its trade as a pub, as an inn. But close enough, within a few days they reckon. Last weekend, Sunday it was, 180 years of great service to the people of Kensington and beyond. 60 Bridge Street at Kensington. Happy birthday, Rising Sun. And of course, Jim Elder's Fine Art Gallery in Melbourne Street, North Adelaide, where if you are looking to sell a painting, you couldn't get a better time. This is the big climactic auction for the end of the year. He has 4 in a year, and he's looking for paintings to put in the last big show, which will be probably about maybe 5 weeks away now. Jim Elder Fine Art, Melbourne Street, North Adelaide. Have a talk to Jim or Helen if you're looking to get a free appraisal of that painting. Happy birthday if you're having a birthday. Let me wish you well. It's the 28th. God, it's the end, nearly the end of the month. Where's the year gone? Beijing is declared the capital of the Ming Dynasty, 1420. It wasn't called Beijing then, was it? It was called... Peking, yeah. There was a great thing that Robbie G did, a record called 45 Days at Peking, or 55... Was it 55 days? 55 Days at Peking, and I think it was a movie as well. Charlton Heston, I think, from memory. What else can I tell you about the day? It's a great day for learning. The first university in the New World was established on this day in 1583 in Hispaniola, Spain? I don't know where that is these days. And also the same day, which is interesting, in 1639, Harvard University, Cambridge, founded by vote of the Massachusetts General Court, 1636. There's a lot of learning in there. The first Protestant church assembly for American Indians was established in Massachusetts in 1646. I wonder what they made of that. Probably not a lot. Oh, dear. Oh, this is interesting. The Duke of York and Albany's Maritime Regiment of Foot, later to be known as the Royal Marines, was established on this very day in 1664. Maybe we can find something a little more recent. Oh, the Statue of Liberty is dedicated by US President Grover Cleveland. A gift from the people of France to the freedom of New York City, 1886. Just a couple more. Jonas Salk, 1914 to 1995, discovers and develops the first successful interactive polio vaccine, which put an end to incredible suffering. There would be many people here, like me and others in this room, who would remember the terrible scourge that was polio. And that made a huge difference to life in Australia and the world. Bernie Eccleston, 1930 to 2021, business magnate and Formula One supremo, born on this day. Curtis Lee, 1941. Who remembers Curtis Lee? Curtis Lee. He died 2015, but born 1941. He had pretty little angel eyes. Yeah? Pretty little angel eyes. Pretty little angel eyes. What else? Anyway, he was born in Yuma, Arizona. Dennis Lilly's having a birthday. John Hewson's having a birthday. John Hewson, Australian politician, almost Prime Minister, 1946. Bill Gates, 66 years of age, co-founder of Microsoft, having a birthday. And Julia Roberts, 54, became a Hollywood star after headlining the romantic comedy Pretty Woman, which grossed $464 million worldwide. It was a good movie. A good movie. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us, and I look forward to having your company on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock when again we post the Court of Public Opinion. Believe in yourself. Thank you for viewing, and goodbye for now.